This morning we're looking at understanding Huntington's disease.
Rare neurological disease
that can attack someone both physically and mentally.
Described as having ALS, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's all at the same time. It's pretty serious.
And there is no known cure or treatment, but with your help, you can help support families with loved ones impacted by Huntington's disease.
Memory, making history. Let's go. You don't need no luck with that golden touch. Time to light it up. Let's go. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! Go! Yeah, this is it. Go! Let's go! This is it. It's never, no plan with forever. It's now or it's never. Yeah. It's down to the wire. Who gon' take the empire? It's down to the wire. This is it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. This is it. Yeah, this is it. Go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 38th Annual HDSA Convention. At this time, please welcome the Chair of HDSA's Board of Directors, Teresa Schreier.
Well, did that inspire you all? Hello, welcome to the 38th Annual HDSA Convention. I've already been announced, but I'm Teresa Schreier. I'm chair of the HDSA National Board of Trustees, but also I'm a family member. And my H Angels are here today helping me through this. So it is my honor to welcome you to Convention 2023. We have a fantastic HDSA convention program for you this year. Next 2 days are jam-packed, and take in everything that you can, or if you need a little time to yourselves, do that too, but enjoy what we've got. There's a few highlights, but first I want to thank Genentech, Unicure, Neuroquin, Crin, Picnic Health, Annexon Biosciences, and Wave Life Sciences for sponsoring both a national and local scholarship program that has brought more than 100 families to New Orleans for this life-changing event. Each of the national sponsorship recipients is attending their first convention today because of this important fund. If this is your first HDSA convention, please stand so we can acknowledge you. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. I also want to recognize the HDSA National Youth Alliance, also known affectionately as the NYA, and you'll see them around in their shirts, and they've been around today. Please seek them out as well. And their fundraising efforts, which supported more than 40 youth and young adults so that they could attend this convention. Thank you for that. That was going to be my next thing, to thank them. While I'm recognizing the NYA and their scholarship program, let me remind you to join them tomorrow night for their annual talent show beginning at 5:30 p.m. So I'm going to really encourage you to attend. It's amazing to see our youth perform and just how much they give it and they put into it. It's wonderful. So please join us. And we did say 5:30. That's correct. We're hosting it early this year so you can explore the French Quarter for dinner after that event. So please come to that and then go to dinner. All of the proceeds from the talent show and any funds donated at convention directly support NYA scholarships for next year's HDSA convention. So please be generous in your support of these amazing young people. So another secret to NYA talent show. Come with an NYA shirt on or an HDSA shirt on. Because the board and a few other donors donate based on the number of shirts that are in the room. So please do that because that also helps contribute to the scholarships. All right. Next, I'd also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, which make this HDSA convention and all the activities that go with it possible. We have a long list of generous sponsors, our most ever. So please hold your applause until the end and then be really loud to thank them. So our thanks to our presenting sponsors, Genentech and Teva, our gold nonprofit sponsor, CHDI and Enroll HD, our gold sponsors, Sage Therapeutics and Unicure, our silver sponsors, Neurocrine Biosciences and Novartis, bronze sponsors, Annexon Biosciences, Mass Mutual Special Care, Picnic Health, Prolenia, PTC Therapeutics, Vico Therapeutics, and Wave Life Sciences. And our friends at ArchCare, AskBio, Broda Seating, and Spark. Now let's show them how much we appreciate all of their support. Nice job, everyone. We couldn't do it without them. We are pleased to once again be using our customized Socio app to put the convention program in the palm of your hand. If you haven't done it already, simply go to your device's app store, type in HDSA Convention, and download it to your device or computer. While we still have a printed summary of the program available for you to refer to while navigating the Sheraton Hotel here in New Orleans, the app is the most comprehensive resource with full program descriptions, speaker bios, and information about special activities. In the app, you can connect with convention attendees, share your photos and messages on the convention wall. I've seen some of them, they're pretty fun. And look in the announcements section for any real-time changes that might be taking place with meeting rooms or exciting new developments. Finally, the app has one more really cool feature that I have to highlight, the HDSA Convention Challenge. So there's codes that you put in. We unveiled this game a few years ago, and it was a huge success, with hundreds of family members scoring sessions to collect points. The more points you collect during the next 2 days, the greater your chance of winning 2 free registrations to HDSA's 2024 convention. And don't worry, runner-ups will get special HDSA swag bags. But remember, look for your codes, put them in. There might be some codes later. You're here because you know that the annual HDSA convention is a very special event. An educational program, support group, and family reunion all rolled into one. Everybody here knows why we're here. Each year, we bring together an all-star lineup of heroes in the HDA community for 2 days of learning and sharing so that all of us are strengthened by new information, insights, and connections that we can use in our fight against Huntington's disease. Undoubtedly, it's going to be hard to choose which sessions to attend. We have up to 8 sessions running concurrently starting tomorrow morning and running straight through our annual awards gala. But the good news is that we're recording and live streaming sessions throughout, which will be available on HDSA's YouTube channel in a few short weeks. We have to have a little time to get it put up there. The content, support, and inspiration is never more than a click away. In addition to the educational tracks, our program includes a wide variety of special activities. Throughout convention, our activity center will be open for people with HD to have fun and try new skills. Be sure to come to tomorrow's Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon to celebrate HDA's chapter and affiliates and find out who wins Affiliate and Chapter of the Year. Food, too. Take advantage of the many support groups that are being held throughout this weekend to offer support and camaraderie. Sometimes you might just need to go and be part of it. You're not expected to share, but if you need that time, please join one of the support groups. Saturday evening, get ready to help us recognize leaders across the HD community at our annual awards dinner and gala. For those of you who are attending your first convention, you won't want to miss our special candle lighting ceremony and then kick up your heels on the dance floor. We know that the HDSA convention surfaces powerful emotions. You can see I get a little. Please know that you are supported by an amazing team of HDSA social workers, clinical advisors, volunteer leaders, and staff who are here today and this weekend to help you on your HD journey. On Saturday morning, come for breakfast, food again, and stay for our highly anticipated research forum where we'll launch the new HD collection initiative with RareX and get insights into progress in developing new HD treatments by the HD Buzz team of Drs. Jeff Carroll and Ed Wild and friends. As you all know, in order for new and effective therapies to be developed for HD, family participation in clinical research is essential. So at noon tomorrow, HDSA will once again be hosting a clinical trials showcase that will provide an update on clinical trials that are currently recruiting, what we can do as a family now. If you want to get involved in a clinical trial, this session will tell you how and feature the science that's going on now. Just in case learning about exciting science isn't enough of a reason to put this on your calendar, more food. There'll be a Brock's lunch. So come, grab a sandwich, and learn how you can be part of the search to treat HD. Also on Saturday, you will have the opportunity to meet your National Board of Trustees during our annual Meet the Board session. Just like HDSA chapter and affiliates, every member of the National Board is a volunteer who donates their time and skill to shepherd the mission of HDSA and ensure that we are improving the lives of everyone with HD and their families. If you are a member of an HDSA board, either with an affiliate, a chapter, or as a national trustee, please stand so that we can recognize you. You are the leadership of this amazing organization. You set the vision and accomplish the mission and make possible all of the help and hope that is HDSA. Thank you for all that you do. I am very excited that we have all gathered here in New Orleans for this 38th annual HDSA convention. It's been 3 full years since we've been able to host HD families without pandemic restrictions, and it's so inspiring and heartwarming to be with you all again. At HDSA, family is everything. And standing before you, I see and feel your strength. Together, we are improving the lives of everyone affected by HD. Thank you. To talk more about HDSA's mission and vision work, it's my pleasure to introduce our President and CEO, Louise Vett. Please welcome her to the stage. Have a great convention, everyone.
Can we give Teresa another round of applause? Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful crowd. It is so amazing to see you all. As Teresa said, I'm Louise Vetter, and I'm the president and CEO of the Huntington's Disease Society of America. And I am so excited to say these 4 words. Welcome to New Orleans. We have waited 5 long years to say that. We were supposed to be in New Orleans in 2020, And long ago in Boston, E.J. Garner and I stood on a convention stage with beads and confetti cannons to announce that we'd be bringing HDSA to this amazing city. There was so much excitement, so much anticipation, and then COVID. I'll confess that some days I forget about COVID-19. I swear, I really do. Like a bad dream that jolts you awake, but whose memory fades with the dawn. We reacted as a community and as an organization to the pandemic quickly. We innovated, we went virtual, and we found new ways of staying connected despite the social distance. That feels so far away now, looking at all of you together in this room. We did it at the time because we had to. But honestly, if there was any group of people poised to weather the COVID-19 pandemic with resilience and grace, it was the HD community. Families affected by Huntington's disease have generations of experience with health adversity and generations of experience taking care of one another during tough times. A health crisis without a known cure, we know how to face that. Not because we want to, but because we have no choice, but to go on, to go forward. While I don't stream a lot of TV or shows online, I benefit from an amazing staff team who is always dropping pearls of wisdom from what they watch. Can we take a moment to recognize the HDSA staff? They're a small team of 30 folks who do amazing work. The power of HDSA will always be the families. But our organization has to have structure to channel all of that into our mission work, and the HDSA staff team is a pretty phenomenal group of people. So if you get a chance, thank one of them in the registration booth later, okay? So back to TV. In recent years, quotes from the show Ted Lasso. Anybody watch it? Ted Lasso? It's on Apple TV. I don't watch it. I just don't have time. But quotes from the show keep coming up in team chats. This one, from a father-son conversation on the show, stuck with me. Don't fight back, fight forward. Don't fight back, fight forward. The message on the show was not to be pulled back by the negativity of revenge, but to choose to rise above. And it reminds us, not to dwell on what has happened, but rather to keep our heads high and focus on what's ahead. Do what we can do to not address the past, but to affect the future. Fighting forward. It's proactive, not reactive. It's about creating the change we want to see in the world. Right now, you're wondering how this applies to Huntington's disease and this convention, but stay with me, I promise. No one on the planet right now can change the genetics that they have inherited. And even though we don't have treatments to slow or stop Huntington's disease yet, there's actually a ton that we can do to fight forward. The HDSA community does not dwell. We don't mope. At HDSA, we unite, we support, we connect, we care deeply. We advocate, and we get involved. We get involved in events, and we get involved in research, so that HD families in the US and beyond can find help for today and have confidence in a healthier tomorrow. No, we don't know the timeline of tomorrow. It probably can't be measured in hours. But we do know that our actions today are the only way to ensure that the next generation will be less burdened by Huntington's disease. Actions like finding doctors and social workers who are focused on and committed to the highest quality of care, like those through HDSA. Actions like getting involved in HDSA chapters and affiliates to create communities that support one another and raise awareness of HD. Actions like going to Team Hope walks, celebrations of Hope galas, golf tournaments, curling events, and so many more different community awareness events. And actions like getting involved in clinical research, fighting forward. It is really easy to think of research as something that scientists do. You might imagine when I say that word, a white coat, an eyedropper, petri dishes, maybe some test tubes and mice, right? It's true. That is research. It's really important research, and it's a vital part of understanding the biology of Huntington's disease. And HDSA funds a lot of scientists who do just this. Your support for HDSA helps make those grants and fellowships possible, and it's incredibly important. But it's not actually what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the type of research that literally cannot happen without you because it involves you. The type of research that actually teaches scientists how HD affects lives and gives us the data to identify effective drugs that can treat and maybe one day cure Huntington's disease. The type of research that you participate in. That's you fighting forward. You are the most essential part of science. Many of you have heard me say this before, but I honestly can't say it enough. Everything that we know about Huntington's disease is because people like you, just like you, participated in research. They gave samples of their DNA, and 30 years ago this year, Doctors Jim Gusella and Marcy McDonald and the collaborative of scientists found the genetic cause of HD. It was an amazing breakthrough that happened because families participated in science. Families have participated in countless clinical trials to find drugs proven to treat symptoms of HD. The vast majority of those trials were unsuccessful, without data that showed safety, or more importantly, efficacy. But did we give up? Did we give up? No. No. New families stepped up and signed up so that there would be data to support new treatments. Sounds familiar, right? We have recent experience with drugs not meeting the endpoints that tell us that the drugs were safe and have a measurable impact on HD. I know it's heartbreaking when drug trials stop or the data is disappointing. When a trial that we had such hope for fails, and the options to participate in new clinical trials feel few. It's devastating. But we cannot stop. We can't. We can't fight back and dwell on the losses. We must fight forward. Not just in clinical trials, but also observational studies that teach scientists and power new research. Studies like Cohort and Predict, Prevent, and Change HD, just to name a few. One such observational study is Enroll HD. It's a one-of-a-kind global research platform with more than 20,000 people affected by HD. and it's designed to power the development of HD therapeutics and inform care. Enroll HD is a huge undertaking, and one of the most important things, honestly, to happen in the fight against HD. It is so important that it is the only clinical platform that HDSA has ever endorsed. The HDSA Board of Trustees has prioritized it and said this is going to make a difference. I know that many of you participate in Enroll HD. If you participate in Enroll HD, can you stand and be recognized? Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you. In 2022, Enroll HD had its 10-year anniversary, a lot of milestones tonight, and that is an event worth celebrating. To recognize this momentous occasion, I'd like to welcome Jamie Levy to the stage to highlight a decade of Enroll HD. Jamie has been working with the European Huntington's Disease Network, the Enroll HD platform, and CHDI since 2005, devoting her personal life as an HD family member and professional life to improving HD care and facilitating HD research. Please join me in giving Jamie a warm welcome.
That should work. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Louise, for that lovely introduction. So it's been 10 years, I can't even believe it. And thank you, all of you who have participated. So I really want to tell you what Enroll is doing, what it's meant to have you participate or to be interested in participating, learn more about the study. I love this fight forward. This is a great phrase. And I don't watch Ted Lasso either, but now I'm going to use it. So I'm going to just give you a little outline here of what we're celebrating. The history of Enroll, where it started, how it started, what the achievements have been, some of our local highlights, meaning the United States of America local, because it's a global study, and what we're going to do in the future, and then just some of the comments we've heard over the years. So brief history. As Louise said, 2012 in July 25th exactly, first participant joined Enroll in Memphis, Tennessee. And then we've had 10,000 participants. Thanks to all of you contributing much sooner than we thought, which is really great. In 2019, we've had 20 countries, and now here we are 10 years, almost 13 years later. But we've been celebrating for the last 12 months. This is the 11th month of celebrations. We are 10 years in, and we are going to fight forward and keep going. So we have almost 30,000 participants who have ever been in Enroll globally, of which about a little more than half are active participants. That's people that have come back over the years. And of course, the pandemic was a little bit disruptive, but there wasn't a week where there weren't Enroll visits, which is unbelievable throughout the entire pandemic. So here are just some numbers to show you how much data has come out of Enroll. Almost 100,000 visits conducted, 67 million data points, 155 clinical sites. We got 23 countries participating now. The last one that came in was Peru, just this past few months ago. We've got over 33 studies and trials that are supported. All the data that you contribute and the samples help other sponsors and clinical trial developers to conduct their trials. And over 118 articles. There's many more, which is hard to track them all. So the objectives of Enroll are the same as they were 10 years ago, and will continue the same thing: to support clinical trials, to enhance the understanding of Huntington's disease, and to improve and foster good clinical care. And it's really thanks to the community, thanks to this beautiful HD community that's so collaborative, that stays together, that fights forward to contribute to research. Because without the data and the samples and your participation in coming to regular visits, we wouldn't be advancing science at the rate that we are. So supporting clinical trials, I think half the people in Enroll have been in clinical trials, and almost 90% of the Enroll sites have participated in clinical trials. So it's a very important platform for the entities that are conducting clinical trials to use. Understanding HD. They find ways to measure the Huntington protein by using the samples that you contribute. They find new genetic modifiers that may help us to understand why there's variability, why it changes in age when people get the disease. And without the samples that you contribute, this wouldn't be possible. And improving clinical care. Just the Enroll study itself, coming to an annual visit, really helps prepare, standardize the assessments, standardize the tools, and helps improving clinical cares, because all the doctors and the study site staff that are working in Enroll are learning best practices year over year by conducting these assessments and learning from each other and sharing the information. So what's happening in the United States over the last 10 years? We have almost, 7,700 participants in Enroll. And some of you are here, and thank you again so much for contributing, and we hope that others will consider contributing. This is a great way to get involved in research. We have 50 active sites in the United States. And again, we're very grateful for all the participation. The US was the first country to start and enroll 10 years ago. And, sorry, I can't even barely read this. We have many of the sites, I think almost 50% are also involved in other studies, platform studies, so the plasma collection, the CSF HD Clarity study. And there's great consistency in the study sites, and that's because the families, oh, there it is. That's because the families continue to go to the clinics, and we have such great longevity with the study sites, the doctors, the teams. They all know the families so well, and we think that contributes greatly to the quality of the research and to people's collaboration. So what are we going to do for the next years, 10 years maybe? We've really grown into a community, thanks to HDSA, thanks to all the families that are involved, and all the study sites, of course, and the researchers that use the data. But we want to continue to build the community. So we want to be clinical trial ready, because as you know, there are so many clinical trials being conducted. And a lot of the clinical trial companies that are sponsoring these studies are using the Enroll platform. So the more people that are in the Enroll platform, their use of the data, the samples, help us facilitate and almost expedite recruitment and getting involved in trials. So it's been really helpful. It's a great way to get used to research. Understanding, again, the data and the samples, coming to the annual visits, donating the samples, getting involved in other platform studies like HD Clarity, giving some CSF, doing studies that are surveys, helping us test new assessments. This is really important to get clinical trials conducted and to have outcome measures that will prove that some of the medicines that are being tested will be effective. We're looking forward to Enroll 2.0, which is going to happen in the next year, year and a half. You'll hear about it in the coming 12 to 18 months, and you'll see there will be a new staging system. It's because of the data and samples that you've contributed over the years that have allowed this new staging system, which is going to focus on the earliest people involved in HD. So we're really trying to focus on a younger group of people, getting people involved in research. We're so grateful to the NYA and to HDO and these groups that are really interested in learning more about HD and are taking an active role in the research that is being conducted. So look forward to more exciting studies that are going to focus on people in the younger age groups. So we went out and talked to a lot of people in the HD community and spoken to some of the people from HD Cope and some of the other organizations, and I won't read all of these, but just a few lines. Enroll HD has allowed me as one individual to feel like I'm making a difference in the HD community. Enroll HD has vastly improved my outlook in HD and also improved my outlook on the prospect of effective therapeutics. And everyone who can should be part of Enroll. That's Robert speaking, not me, but I do believe that. And I really hope you really consider conducting research. There happens to be a great study that's going on right here. It's active, you can do it in person, and we'll hope you'll visit the study center. The research is being conducted, HD TAP, up on the 4th floor, because it also, the data that comes out of this is remarkably valuable. And I'll hand back over to Louise, who will tell you a little bit about the next study, and I hope you have a fantastic convention. It's so nice being here. I haven't been here in many years, so I'm really happy to be with all of you. Thank you.
All right, how many folks felt that that was really science-y? So I'm going to encourage you to come to the research forum on Saturday morning and go to Ask the Scientist tomorrow afternoon, and a whole bunch of different sessions to help translate some of the vocabulary. What is CSF? What really is a sample? I promise you it's not as scary as it sounds. The bottom line is that your participation in Enroll HD is teaching us about Huntington's disease so that we can develop treatments. And all those clinical studies are companies looking to help develop therapies that can make a difference in your lives. So that's the power of research. That's the power of Enroll HD. So again, my thanks to Jamie for sharing that with all of us. To get involved in Enroll HD, it's really, really easy. So HDSA has a website called hdtrialfinder.org. If you go there, you don't have to create an account. You can literally just put in your zip code and search. And there will always be an Enroll HD site that comes up on your search. That's how easy it is. That's how accessible those 50 sites are to you. So if you're interested, it's easy. Check it out. Like Enroll HD, most studies take place in doctors' offices. But at HDSA, we are committed to increasing access so that more families can be a part of lots of different types of research. That's why at last year's annual convention in Atlanta, we partnered with the CHDI Foundation for the very first on-site clinical research study. So it's research that actually happened at convention. And I have to be honest with you, we didn't know if it was going to work. 6 weeks before convention, I kid you not, 6 weeks before, I got a call asking if I thought that families attending convention would be open to donating a little bit of blood. I said yes. I said, yeah, I'm sure. But I didn't know how many of you would participate. Like, literally blew expectations out of the water. I should not have been surprised. But once again, the HD community overachieved and fought forward to be a part of it and helped give information about an important HD biomarker, or one that we think is a biomarker, neurofilament light chain, or NFL. Biomarkers are important because they give clinical scientists something to measure to see if a drug is working or not, something to follow that correlates with HD progression. Having overwhelming confidence that you would participate, I said yes, we gave it a try, and of course, my numbers were way too conservative. So this year, we brought more research back on site. And to tell you more about TAP HD and the success of last year's study, I'm going to let Swati tell you the numbers. I want to invite Swati Satta, up to say a few words as she makes her way to the stage. I want to tell you that she is a clinically trained neurologist who continues to donate her time at NYU in New York City. She has been a part of many clinical trials to help develop therapies to help families, but now she lends her talent and heart to the work of CHDI as medical director. So please join me in welcoming Swati. That should work.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Louise, so much for the kind introduction and giving us a few minutes to talk about our research here at the convention. As Louise mentioned, the person who called her 6 weeks before the Atlanta convention was me. So, and it really was, I actually was planning for this year's convention when Christina, my boss, said, why don't you try it this year in Atlanta? Why do we have to wait for next year? And that's really how that got started. There was a lot of trepidation about whether it would work, how it would work, and I'm going to show you a few slides about what actually happened. So, after that wonderful talk by Jamie about the entire Enroll machine, the platform where we have 15,000 or more active participants, they come back every year or so, we do all the assessments, blood. Why do we even have to have this research study at a conference? There are multiple reasons. I cited some of them here on the slide. One of the main reasons is that a number of participants, potential participants, are here together at the convention, and we can probably have more number of people in very short period of time over, say, a site where patients are coming slowly over the year. So numbers, you're already here, you can already participate. That's our biggest push. Then participants who are only curious about the research, if they have never participated before, they can try it out. It's really a very easy thing to do. You have to donate some time, and we have made sure that it is accessible to everybody. To certain families or people who are coming new to the community or coming for the first time to the conference, it emphasizes the importance of research, why you should join and how it will help. And the data generated, though it may not be as large as Enroll, nowhere near, but it can really answer simple questions, straightforward questions that otherwise would have taken more time or more effort to get answered. And then it's feeling to be a part of the community, wanting to contribute towards drug development. I think that's a very important reason. There are several more, but I think I'll stop here. And then Louise just mentioned biomarker shortly. I'm just going to emphasize on that exactly why are we conducting this research. So we can monitor any condition by what the patient manifests. If there is difficulty with motor problems, or there is difficulty with memory and so on. A biomarker is something that usually tracks with the condition, and in number of cases, maybe it is detectable even before the person has any symptoms. There are a number of ways that a biomarker can help. One is to tell about the condition before. It can also tell us if it is getting worse. If somebody is on treatment, it can tell us if it is getting better. It can sometimes be the only indicator. For example, cholesterol is just a biomarker for cardiovascular risk. Patients really never develop symptoms until they get eventually a heart attack or a stroke. But we can monitor cholesterol for years before. So in a number of ways, biomarkers can help. And most of the studies that we are planning to do here at HDSA or even in Enroll, one of the key reasons to do the study is find a powerful biomarker that can detect the onset or presence of any changes from baseline way before there are any symptoms. So that's the whole purpose of a number of things that we do at CHDI, and this is one minor contribution to the whole thing. So the study this year is TAP-HD. It is way more ambitious than it was last year, and we are trying to make sure that it doesn't take too long for you, that we don't need a lot of numbers. We are going to accept as many people as want to join, but trying to keep it within control as well. The procedures are very simple. There is really no risk. We are just having people do tap their fingers or follow eye movements. There is one single blood draw. It is voluntary. If people do not want to donate blood, that is perfectly fine. No part of the study is mandatory. You can choose to do as many elements of the study as you want. I cannot thank HDSA enough for the overwhelming support. I had no idea last year that Louise is going to say yes on the study. And this year, I think it has been really, really overwhelming. Every small thing that we have asked for, every big thing we have asked for, all HDSA team members have been working towards making this. We had 13 boxes shipped for this study, so you can imagine the amount of material that has come, and HDSA has been helping us to arrange all of this. This study has been reviewed by the Central Ethics Review Committee, so it is approved as a minimal risk study. So if anybody had any questions, we are happy to answer more. And all the documents, everything was reviewed by the Ethics Board, and they are agreeable to have this study being done at a conference. We are not collecting any identifying information. We are not collecting any personal information. It's a completely anonymized study. The point being, once you leave the study room, we will not be able to tell anything about the person as to who contributed that blood or who did the study. All we know that we will know is the age and the gender of the person, and then some other health characteristics. But other than that, there's no way for anybody to identify the person once you have left the room. So this is essentially the study. These are the sensors on the patient's finger that record the fine motor movements, and the glasses the person is wearing record the eye movements. As I said, we have one blood draw and then a few questionnaires. I'm very, very happy to report that today 45 people participated in the study already. Thank you so much. And again, this was not expected. We had the hours open today because we thought people are registering, they still have time, the sessions have not begun. I'm very happy with the decision. Thank you so much for coming up, and at least stop by our booth. Even if you're not considering participation, we are happy to talk to you. What did we do last year? So we had promised that we'll tell you what happened with all the samples that we collected last year. So NFL, as Louise mentioned, is one of the biomarkers under consideration. It is something that we can measure in blood, something that we can measure even in the brain fluid, and it usually increases when there is any kind of neuronal injury, any kind of nerve damage. And so this biomarker is being used by other fields as well. So for example, in Alzheimer's disease or multiple sclerosis, other neurological conditions are also looking at this biomarker, how they can use them for their trials. So some studies use serum. Serum, when you give blood, we separate the cells from the fluid part. And if we separate the cells without the clotting factors, meaning we clot the blood, then it becomes serum. If we separate the blood and maintain the clotting factors, then it becomes plasma. So both are fluid sections of the blood, just separated in a little different way. And measurements of different things are recorded differently in serum and plasma sometimes. As I said, for other conditions, some studies use serum, some studies use plasma. In HD so far, most of the studies have been on plasma. So we wanted to see whether serum and plasma would give the same kind of measurement. So in the future, when we are comparing studies or we are recommending any kind of blood collection, whether we are confident in saying both are equal. Now the good thing about that study was both samples were simultaneously drawn. So sometimes we have samples from different studies which may be drawn at different times or processed a little differently. Here that was not in question. Both samples were drawn at the same time, processed by the same people. So that's always an advantage that we have all the samples done at the same time. And then there are different laboratories that offer the same test. They all may offer it on the same platform, but again, we were not sure if we have different studies and they give you a level out. Is it reliable if one lab does the study versus others? So when we are comparing studies, we need that information whether those are comparable studies. So that was the whole purpose of, these were two very simple aims for this study. And as I said, when there is nerve damage, NFL leaks into the brain fluid, it also leaks into the blood. And that's what we are trying to measure and see in Huntington, how many, at what point does it start increasing? How much does it increase? Can it track the condition? If there is treatment involved, will the NFL level go down? These are all the questions that we are trying to answer. But we start at this very simple question. So we had 156 people donate blood. We had 156 samples last year in 2 days that we could collect. 37 were persons with Huntington disease. Their reported CAG length, they're reporting the testing by themselves, was between 38 and 56. And participants were between the ages of 20 and 72. 110 were women, so all power for women here. And then, so maybe the men want to step up this year, I don't know. And even with the sample that we had, even you can see that the graph on the left, on my left, is shows that red are the bars with in persons with HD, and blue are the bars in persons without HD. So even though it's making it a little sciencey, I'm sorry, but we had promised that we would give results out. So you can see that the bars in participants who had HD are clearly higher than the left. So at least even from this small study sample, we at least get this definitive data, which is very helpful. And then this is even more sciencey, so I'm just going to make it as simple as I can. The red and the blue are curves, or they are bars. The blue bar is the plasma measurement, and the red bar is the serum measurement. And the point we want to make is they coincide. They are literally over each other. They're not different than each other. So whether you measure it in plasma or you measure it in serum, it will not make a difference. And that was a very, very important finding. And on the other graph, the blue one is lab 1 and the yellow one is lab 2. Again, both of them coincide very, very well. So it doesn't matter what lab you do with. And this is what we set to find out, and we did find it out. So that was, I would say the study was very successful. And then I think we have one more slide. So we did have an optional questionnaire last year, and we are doing it again this year. It's not many people answered the questionnaire. Out of the 37 participants, 21 answered, and then 16 of those we could analyze. So it was a very small sample. And then if you look at and this was done only by participants with HD. So if you look at the stages, so these 16 participants, we divided them by stage. And again, it's a little sciencey, little graph, but you can see that as the stage progresses from 0 to 3, the measurement or the values on that scale are going up. So even within 16 people, this was for the first time that this scale was used in this fashion. And even with this small data, there is some answer, there is some indication of how this scale can be used or how it is going to be helpful for us in the future. So I think that's my last slide, yes. And so thank you very much for paying attention and listening to the talk. And I hope to see you at the study room. We are there at 9 o'clock tomorrow, so please come. Thank you. Thank you.
So somebody at my table said, how many did we think we were going to get last year? I told Swati to be happy with 30. I was like, if we can get 50, that's fantastic. And to have almost 150 is amazing. So again, my thanks to Swati and the CHDI team. I do look forward to seeing all of you wearing the little stickers that said I did HD research on your lapels, or stick them on your water bottles. It matters. It's really important. Wouldn't it be amazing if all clinical study sites were easily accessible, right? As easy as going upstairs, or maybe going on the weekend or in the evening when you're actually free and not while you're at work or at school. Those are things that we think about all the time at HDSA. If this type of thing sounds interesting, come to the research forum on Saturday morning, because then we're going to talk about our new HD data collection initiative. And that's something hugely new. It's just around the corner, and it puts the power firmly at your fingertips. HD research will never be just one thing, but participating in clinical research, those are the drug studies, right? By getting involved in the observational trials, and by sharing your data in a private, secure way that helps inform the understanding of Huntington's disease. Your journey becomes part of the scientific knowledge that will improve the lives of everyone affected by HD. I know this is easier said than done. Your lives are full, and we know all too well that there is nothing easy about Huntington's disease. Not a thing. It is biologically complex and intellectually overwhelming. Fighting HD means drawing deep in your well of personal strength to help yourself and others, even when the weight of the risk or the diagnosis feels crushing. It is too much to bear alone. That's why HDSA exists. The programs and people of HDSA exist to keep you brave against all of the challenges of Huntington's disease. With more than 60 HDSA centers of excellence, more than 70 social workers, and countless support groups in person and online. We've got free telecounseling through American Well. We have our special disability umbrella. Find Allison if you want to know what the umbrella looks like. We've got our helpline and the HDSA National Youth Alliance that you've heard us talk about. All of these things are here to help you find answers, to help access care, maintain your quality of life, and keep you brave. The togetherness of HDSA's chapters and affiliates keeps you brave. By meeting other families in your community who are sharing a similar journey with you, the loneliness of having a rare disease dissolves, and it's replaced a little bit with confidence and courage. The HDSA Annual Convention is a celebration of all of those things. It started today for a lot of folks with our leadership training, with professional training for social workers, and for NYA Day. And it continues tonight with our Team Hope Walk and welcome reception. Tomorrow, so don't stay out too late tonight. Tomorrow, we start our amazing educational tracks. And don't miss the volunteer reception and the talent show, of course. At convention, we come together to learn and grow and chart our next step forward. The future doesn't just happen. It's something we believe in first, and then we build it together. That's how progress starts. Not as a thing or a foregone conclusion, but as a choice made with hope by people like you who know that a better future is possible. Many of the people I met in 2009 are no longer with us. Those are the folks who first taught me about Huntington's disease, and they challenged me, just like all of you do, to do more. They're no longer with us. Their seats have been filled by new friends and faces who have picked up the charge and compel us forward. We can never lose sight of that. We can never forget them. We honor their legacy by making sure that HDSA continues to be the North Star for families affected by Huntington's disease everywhere. At HDSA, we have a saying, family is everything. We don't fight Huntington's disease just for ourselves. We fight because of the family, by blood and by bond, that we love. The parents we've lost, and the children we must protect. As Teresa said, convention is a family reunion. No matter where we gather, it's a common place where we can come home for the friends, the hugs, and the hope that fills these halls. It's not just a gathering, and it's way more than a meeting. The HDSA Annual Convention is an event that informs us and comforts us. It supports us and it fuels us. It helps us stay brave because we don't fight back. Say it with me, we fight forward. Thank you for everything that you do to meet the challenges of Huntington's disease and embrace the achievement of our mission to improve the lives of everyone affected by HD. Thank you for being a part of this 38th annual convention, for the courage and strength that you share so generously, and for the love and support as a family that you bring to HDSA. We're in this together. Thank you for helping us kick off this amazing convention tonight. Many of you have noticed that we're doing this a little bit different this year. We typically do our opening ceremony on Friday morning, but by doing it tonight, a few important things get to happen. First of all, more folks can participate virtually. I know there are a lot of folks right now listening in from home because they're able to live stream us after work. And this bought us a little more time for more educational sessions tomorrow. It allows us also to go right from here to some super fun activities. For those of you who want to stretch your legs and see a little bit of the city of New Orleans, you've got your Team Hope shirt on your way out of this room in just a few short minutes. You can make sure you've got your beads and your masks, maybe a gator head or something. There's some awesome fun things to take advantage of. And in New Orleans tradition, we've got Swingaroo to lead our march, not just yet, but in a minute you're going to follow them as they play us out for a brief stroll to raise awareness of Huntington's disease. It's going to be fun. Before you walk, I know that a lot of folks were looking for the Team Hope code for the gamification, right? So that you can get your points. Everybody gets it. Are you ready? It's going to be THW 1, 2, 3. Super creative. THW for Team Hope Walk. 1, 2, 3. And you'll get a whole mess of points. Okay, so after you go on your walk, you're going to come back to the Grand Ballroom, which is one flight up on the 5th floor, for our annual welcome reception, where there will be food and drink and games. If you'd rather not walk, totally fine. Please stay in your seats while the walkers leave, and then go right on upstairs to the 5th floor and have fun. Thank you so much for being a part of this 38th annual convention. Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. Thanks, everybody.